Hey, everybody. My name is Craig Stevenson, and I am an Associate Mission Director here with the BVFI Mission Office. And I want to welcome you to the 938 podcast. And we are back with another episode with Mike Escabel.
Yeah.
And it is great to have Mike with us today. So Mike is our media manager here at the Mission Office, and all of our videos, graphics, websites, everything that you see, him and his team do. And they do an incredible job. So Mike, first off, thanks for all the work you do here. And thanks for all just being here on the podcast today.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
I know we're going to hit several different things, but let's just start with you. And I know you've been on before, but for those that might have missed our previous podcast when you and I were on here, just give us some details, a little bit about you, maybe your family, and then a little bit about what you do here at the office.
Okay. My name is Mike Escabel. I am the media manager. So like you said, I handle all the media, all the resources for missionaries and churches, but also meet all the needs for the mission office itself.
Yeah.
So all the Project 938 stuff has come from our media department, and it's been a big project for us to focus on, but I feel like my guys are crushing it. I've got two guys that work with me, Caleb and Justin, and they both do a great job.
Yeah,
Caleb
they do.
Helps with the graphics. Justin helps with the video. And they're doing a really good job. I have 3 kids. I just had a boy about a year ago, and after having 2 girls, and they were there's about a 10-year difference between the youngest and the oldest. So he was a little bit of a surprise, but and then married just had my 16-year wedding anniversary.
That's right.
So,
just a few days ago.
So our sweet 16. So we made
that's
it.
awesome, man. Congrats on that.
Yeah,
I say that for
thanks.
sure. So,
so in the mission office here, that's like nothing, because there's people who've been married for. We always talk about anniversaries, but 16 years doesn't seem like a long time for.
Yeah, sure.
But it's we're excited. I'm excited about what I'm going to show you today too.
Yeah, we got a lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
You were telling me a little bit about what you're going to show today, and we'll talk through some of that. But I tell you what, your team does a great job.
Yeah.
And we hear everywhere we go, whether it's a state meeting, a church, just everyone just loves the media that's being produced and everything that's coming out from the mission office. And so kudos to you and your team.
That's so encouraging.
And we appreciate you guys and what you guys do, and especially Justin and Caleb.
Yeah.
And Justin's actually behind the camera today. I would have him wave, but he's behind the camera and you can't see him. And he's actually sitting there smiling.
We need to get a camera set up for whoever the producer
yeah,
is that
wouldn't
day.
that be good? Yeah.
So that way they could just give input.
Yeah, just give a little shout out. Kind of like, what was that? The Price is Right that used to do that, I think.
Yeah,
I love that.
Throw that idea.
Well, listen, Project 938. So we are in the middle of this year of 2021. We are making our way to 938 Sunday. And that is Sunday, October 3rd, and we have a ton of resources that we've already put out. So let's start out here and say, if you haven't registered for Project 938 yet, you need to go to project938.world, and you need to register today, okay? That's not tomorrow, that's not next week, that's today. And here's why: because when you register, you're going to get an email with a link that's going to take you to a ton of great resources. That's going to give you all kinds of things. And well, you can just go on there and see what all that is.
There's a lot of stuff already up.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to release, and I think we've talked about this in past podcasts, but getting ready to release the July
that's right.
resource pack.
Yeah.
And then there's a September resource pack. And then even from there, we have resources that are going to be coming out.
Yes.
Like videos that are just going to be happening all throughout the year about 938.
Yeah. And so if you want access to all of that,
yeah.
you need to go register and get in on that, because you'll get all the resources that have been released up to this point, and then you'll get all releases of all Project 938 information that are, or I guess media resources and all kinds of resources, Bible studies and things for 938 Sunday coming out this fall as well. So.
I think one of the things that's been highlighted by every guest who's kind of been on here and promoted that through our presidents at our colleges and even Tim Adrian, one of the things that's been really pushed forward, and you guys, is that it would be so cool if we could just do this together.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine
Yes.
all the churches around the world praying.
Yeah.
That God would send more laborers out into the harvest. Like that would be a powerful thing.
Yeah.
And I just think that's the way to do it, is together. So don't get behind the curveball.
Oh yeah. Don't get behind the game.
Sure. Be in front of this and join everybody else who's already going to be doing it.
Yeah, and I love that you say that, because it's already one of my favorite things to think about, is the fact that every Sunday with the time zones around the world, every hour of the day on Sunday, someone is in services, someone is lifting up the name of Jesus, all around the world. And then to think about 9:38 Sunday for all of us around the world on that day, every hour of the day in every time zone, for you to be able to cast vision that your people in doing this Sunday are going to be joining with church members from around the world to lift up the same prayer request to God. I mean, that's just an exciting thing. And
it's so awesome.
And it's such a natural and easy thing for us to even want to be involved with.
It's been said before too, but seriously, it's a no-brainer.
Oh yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Like it makes so much sense for our fellowship and churches that are connected with our fellowship through our missionaries to come together and do this together, doesn't it? I mean, it's just like...
and you do things that make sense, right? And this just makes sense.
Yeah, and everybody can do this. No matter where you're at, everybody can pray for more missionaries.
Matter what your situation is, you can be involved in this process. And it doesn't even matter where your church is at. It doesn't matter what your church financial situation is. It doesn't matter what your church going potential, on trips and things like that is. Everyone can get together and pray. And so if you're watching today, I just want to tell you, you need to log on, register if you haven't already, and jump on board with this, because this is going to be an incredible fall. And we had a lot of great resources. And so we can't hit them all today. We're not going to talk about all of them today, but I know you're going to share some really cool stuff. So I'm just going to turn it over to you and let you kind of walk through some things with our audience today, talking about resources that they'll have access to in the coming months through the July packet and then also September packet.
Yeah. So today we're going to kind of focus on two of the big resources that are getting ready to come out in the July pack.
Okay.
And that's the Tiles pack and the Design pack.
Okay.
They're different things. Okay. So the Design pack is just an overall design pack that's really meant for digital and print media, and it's kind of got everything in there. And then we knew the Tiles pack was going to be a bigger thing, so we put it in its own separate file, so we could fit more in. And so I'm going to show you those two things today. The cool thing about this is that we're not charging for this. This is a free resource for any church that wants to register.
So let me just stop right there, and I'm going to look at the camera. So I'm not sure which camera I need to look at here, but I will do that and say, this is all free for your church. I mean, all of these resources.
It's a big deal.
And you and I have been on staff at churches for years. We've been part of pastoral staffs and things. And when you got free resources,
you use them.
That's huge. And you use them. But then to know that all that's building together with an initiative built around praying for more laborers, and you got that all around the world. That's just
the whole world is going to be a part of.
Another avenue of desire to want to be involved with that. So I love that. So I know we're going to jump in, and I don't want to throw you for a curveball, but can I throw you for a little bit of a curveball here real fast?
What's up?
It just hit me. I want to give them a little bit of background on the tiles.
Okay.
You know, so you and I had a conversation a long time ago. And it's been a while since we've actually started those conversations, and you had you literally had a great idea.
The tiles were born out of frustration of having to do brochures and different brochures and different sizes. And so, man, one of the things that if any media person has learned from social media, that designing in a square format is kind of helpful. Right. There's a lot you can do with that. So, and
that's kind of the standard thing now for a lot of social media.
For a lot of groups, some people don't quite go to that, but a lot of people who are on Instagram already know, man, squares is easy to kind of build up your
and I'm
portfolio.
Watching, you're doing. I'm on Facebook the other day, and I see now movie like trailers and stuff coming out in square format on Facebook and Twitter and things like that.
Because they're picking up that it works both great with mobile and your PC or your Mac or whatever. So it works in both orientations or whatever, how you're going to hold a phone or if you're going to have a screen turned. Landscape. So it's a big deal just for the digital side of it. But for the print side of it, one of the things that we did with those tiles was make them a certain size, a certain resolution in the actual image. So the cool thing with the tiles is that they can be used for anything that is social media, They can be, obviously they can be shrunk down to whatever size you want.
We have square business cards that are like 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you can use them for that, or you can stretch them out because the resolution is at a good size, at a decent size. It's a higher resolution. You can stretch those out to be printed out up to, I think, up to a safe zone is 4 feet by 4 feet.
Yeah.
And we've actually tested this here in the mission office, and we have 3 printouts of our Beyond Borders, our WIN, and our
World Mission Service Center.
World Mission Service
logo.
Center logo. And they're all down there in our conference room. So if anyone wants to come by and check those out, they can.
And they look great.
And they look great. They look fantastic, don't they? So we took that after proving that it could work. All our tile packs, even on bbfimissions.com and on our store, they all have that same resolution where they're printable up to 4 feet. Yeah. So if you wanted to promote missions within your church and you wanted to put missions-minded stuff up on the walls, man, go check out our tile packs.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is you're getting a free huge tile pack with the 938 or Project 938.
Project 938. And then also those come if you support the mission office at $100 a month or more. You get access to a number of other tile packs as well. Yeah, and so one of the things, going back to when we first had these conversations, again, I've done some graphic stuff, not anything to the degree that you do or you have, right? But when you're in a church and you are trying to design something for, say, a missions conference or any event, you're having to design like 30 or 40 different size graphics. And so one of the desires you had, and just going back to that conversation that we had, was if you could design one size that could be used in all those different capacities for bulletins or inserts or posters, it simplifies the design process. So just talk about that for a second and kind of your thoughts going into that.
It does. I mean, some of the things that we think about when we design stuff too is that how would this fit on a slide, or how would this fit in a different format? And we try to think through those things when we're producing some of this stuff. But that's where the design packs have also come in, especially with our missions conferences.
Yeah, that's good.
And even with our missionary resource packs that we're now giving to our brand new missionaries. Every time someone comes through as a missionary, they're getting our missionary resource packs. And that's started up like the last two years ago. And it's cool because they can basically get a picture, a background, and their logo, throw those 3 elements in, and whatever text they might have for whatever information they want to put on there, that's a separate thing. But at least they can have the full-on design with those 3 things. You can plug them in one spot, and it will shoot out to all the other different formats.
Yeah, and in that, they're going to get prayer letters, they're going to get prayer cards, they're going to get multiple versions of each social media graphic. I mean, all the way down to an iPad design.
Big deal. It would take me even weeks to come up and do all that, and I can do all that stuff pretty fast.
Well, and then the cost. I mean, if a professional designer gets into these packs like this, it's going to cost someone,
at least for a digital version, at least $100.
At the
per graphic.
Per graphic.
So, and there's actually we've made sure that we got that. We didn't pull that price from the thin air. We actually went out and did some research. So it's really interesting. It's really interesting to see how this is all going to flow out.
And it's cool to go back and just kind of tell people just a little bit of a glimpse of how all this kind of came about.
It is frustrating designing in different formats because every design shape, like a poster or whatever, it takes time to redevelop. You've got to redo it basically every time. So this is a huge time saver for any church. It
simplifies everything.
I feel for the youth pastor who's also doing the media at the same time.
Yeah, that's right.
Because honestly, the whole thing behind design packs, the whole thing behind even tile packs, the biggest deal is that we wanted pastors to do ministry. And while I view media as ministry, it's not the ministry that I feel like pastors need to be focused on. If they can get resources where that 90% of the work can be done, and then they can focus on people.
That's right.
Right? People.
I love that.
Focus on people and souls. And so that's kind of what we want to do.
And I'm glad you said that. And that's ultimately what I wanted to get to with asking about that, because that shares your heart with people about what you do here in general. And if there's anything I've learned about you is that your heart for ministry is huge.
Yeah.
And your desire to help people get in the best positions they can to minister to people is really great. And so to see that translate over into our resources, like what we're going to walk through today, and the other resources that are available, to know that this is a time saver for them, so they don't have to spend so much time in front of a computer screen. They can spend more time out with people. I love that, and I'm glad we got to share your heart with that for people today, because I think that's important for people to understand the heart behind why we do the things that we do. And for me, that's a big piece of it with our media department. So appreciate your heart, appreciate that. So now,
let's get into
sorry
it.
about the curveball, but want to get into what you're going to talk about here today too.
It's good.
This is really great stuff.
So one of the things, and we're going to pop up the screen here for you, just kind of show you, this is the design pack that we have that's going to be in our July pack. So this looks really small, but this is just a zoomed out view of everything that you're going to get.
That's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff. It's really some awesome tools that are in here. So just to start off, I'll just kind of walk you through it. This is done in Adobe XD, and there are some tricks about using this program, and I've included some XD navigation tips just to make things easier about, like, with exporting and some of the, just navigating around and doing all that. Basically, Adobe XD is a prototyping tool, but we've used it for we've been using it like this for a while now, and it's just worked so incredible. But the cool thing about this is that it is so much more simplified than Photoshop or Illustrator, or even InDesign. This is such an easy thing to use, and really anybody can do it. So especially if you already have a template that's out there, anybody can go in and click on things and change things if they want to. So that's one thing that we've been doing and showing people, is that this is just such an easy tool to use. So I did include, obviously how to export, how to save your own version, some tips for XD and navigation.
Yeah, I love that. So we're not only giving them resources, we're also walking them through how to make sure that they can utilize it the best they can.
Absolutely. And we just want to make sure everybody knows how to do this. We have a color scheme if you want to mess around with that. Everyone else is going to be using this blue and red kind of look, so I would stick with that, but if you want to mess around with that, you can. And then we include the fonts that's used in here. You will have to kind of install that, but that's a free font too, from Google Fonts. But yeah, just some awesome resources here. I'm going to start off in some of the print stuff and kind of show you some stuff here. So we've included just a couple different options for letters that you could use if you want to just send out a letter to your church. I know if someone's starting a big thing, they want to tell people about it, and sometimes mail can be in a super effective way of doing that. Another thing that we've included is our 7-day prayer guide, and this is something that's kind of a big deal, where we have this in this format where you can print it out yourself, and we also have it in a few different digital formats too.
That's cool.
So that's kind of cool. And then this prayer guide in a different version, if you want to do it in a bulletin insert. And one of the things that we added to this just kind of thought about was if someone wanted to print off 2 at a time on their own printer, I give instructions on how to do that and make it simple. So
that's awesome. That's a resource that churches will be able to take the day of
and print out
October 3rd
on their own printers.
Have these there, and that'll walk people through a 7-day prayer, I would say cycle, maybe even something to pray for every day of that week following October 3rd.
Absolutely. And
that's cool.
Another cool resource is our bulletin builder. And so we have right here are like your fronts.
That is cool.
These are your backs, and we've got 6 different versions of those. So you can do what we've recommended here, or you can mix and match. And I show you how to do that through these instructions here, give you full instructions on how to do that. And so you can mix and match these different looks and build them however you want. But those are kind of the 6 recommended that we thought we would throw together. And then another thing we have here is are the insides. So we just give you some different options for insides and just give you some looks for that. Even if you wanted to print off your 7-day prayer guide into your bulletin.
And they can go through and edit all the text and things that's in there.
So a cool thing is, one thing we thought about during this is making sure that churches could use this if they weren't proficient in anything Adobe. So if one thing we did was exported everything as a JPEG, and with making it completely blank. So if you wanted to upload a blank JPEG as a background in like Publisher or whatever, PowerPoint or whatever you want to do, you can do that and then write over that.
Yeah.
And and type over that. And that kind of makes it available to literally everyone.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
That's one of the things we wanted to think about through that. Another thing that we are offering are some banners, and these are like kind of the X banner format that we've had in our design packs for a long time. But just give you 4 different options for that, and 4 different options for posters down here, which is kind of cool. We've included postcards. Someone might want to send out a postcard.
That's right.
These are all sized to places like GotPrint and Vistaprint. So if you want to take it directly and take the JPEG once it's edited and send it out to one of those online printers, you can do that way, and it actually saves you a little bit of time going that direction.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Especially if you wanted to make it look a little bit nicer. We went ahead, and this wasn't a part of the plan, but we included a trifold
that's cool.
that has the commitment card included with that. And then you can edit this text to say whatever you want it to say. Or I'm going to zoom
that's
in so
really
people
cool.
can actually see. And you can kind of mess around with this however you want to mess around with that and put your own information in there. But we've given you a good design where you could just kind of flow off of that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
We have, I'm going to finish out with some of our print stuff, but we have the communication card for if someone makes a decision and they're coming down. If you want to print those off yourself, you can. I think we're also sending those out to churches who register.
The digital versions are going to be available for everybody, and then our directors always travel with those.
Sweet.
And now let me say this about those information cards, because if you have those and you get those printed off, for 938 Sunday or any Sunday, missions conference week or month or whatever you do, if you have people fill that out, that information card right there, and they select what program they're interested in, put their information, if you'll send that to us here at the office, if you'll send that to me, then that gets them in our system, and we can follow up with them and get them information and answer questions. And so I want to encourage you to really utilize those cards for information and send that back into us.
Really gets them on a track going in a direction. Sometimes people make decisions and they don't follow up, or follow-up doesn't happen quite like we want it to.
That is step 1 to getting people on the pathway to BBFI missions right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another thing that we've included is just business cards, which is just a little add-on.
Yeah.
Some of the coolest stuff, though, is in our digital side of this, and this is kind of up at the top. And so we've included all these slides and backgrounds. You could use these for digital signage or for just regular slides. You could post them on projectors. We have stuff that's a little bit more complete and finished, like these titles here, and just like if you want to promote a BBFI win or where to register, and some of the you can find also the podcast here is also on project938.world. But some of those resources are cool to have, and we give you just a ton of options to be able to fill in whatever information you want from those. So we feel like that's a really powerful tool and a really powerful thing.
Well, and again, it goes back to making life easier for those that are doing media in a church.
100%.
Making sure you have everything you need to do 938 in your church and do it well.
Absolutely.
Without having to create it all from scratch.
Yeah, it's a huge time saver.
It. Yeah, it's great.
So digital signage and phone backs, we just did turn those sideways and just gave you some options there.
Awesome. And I'll just say this: my responses in some today are just surprised, because this is the first time I've actually seen these finished. Yeah. And so I didn't know that you had done the phone backs and things like that. So
just another option, just to kind of get people excited about it.
I love that. Yeah.
We were thinking, okay, how can we make this useful? And if you could have like a schedule on your phone, or have information, or prayer, some of those things on your phone digitally as a background every day, it might help you, remind you to pray a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is another cool thing. Like if you want to do a social media campaign, it's really awesome to be able to change to have all your graphics already done for that.
Yeah,
your profile pictures and your banners.
Everything ready to go.
So we thought of that. So we have it for Facebook here. If you want your Facebook profile picture and your banner to be changed. We have a profile picture for Instagram, one for Twitter, LinkedIn.
All that's done.
MailChimp, if you wanted to send out something through MailChimp, you can do that way.
Cool.
So we have just a logo, a banner, and a thing that you can plug in. And then even on YouTube, if your church has a YouTube channel, people are streaming more now, you can throw that up there.
They have all of that ready to go.
It's all ready to go.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
That's kind of a breakdown of what you get in the design pack, which is really cool. One of the things, I'm going to scroll over here to this is our tiles pack. One of the things that's awesome between both the design pack and the tile pack is that it really gives you so much flexibility to do this however you want.
Oh yeah, get creative.
So, yeah, this is your opportunity. Yeah. Even if you want to move stuff around, there's the flexibility in XD to do that. Yeah. So the tile packs, like I said before, can be used for social media, all the way up to 4x4 printed materials. Yeah. So if you really want to print these off and put them around your church, we've given you a lot of different options to do that. One of the things that we did was a social media campaign. Yeah. And those are actually rolling out now, I think, because I saw that we scheduled those in. Yeah. So those are happening right now. But some of these things are really cool that you could put these together and build bigger displays. So if you've got a huge lobby and you wanted a 12-foot by 12-foot display, you could print this off right here and do those tiles and have just a huge display in your church. And you can offset those however you want, put some space in between them and make it look more windowed, or you can put them all together and layer them.
Yeah, and I love this because, you go to the options. Again, flexibility, options, and speed. In many ways, those are some words that really define this whole process. And so I think about our display that we have, that we set up. It's a square display it's got 9 squares in it. They're promo tiles. Just like what we have here.
Absolutely. You can use that format and go even bigger with it if you really wanted to.
Well, and then I think John Sladen and his church out in Midland, Texas, he took another tile pack that we have and blew those up and put those on his missions wall.
Yeah, our whole world tile pack.
And it looks incredible.
Oh, man, it looks so
there
good
on that wall.
Yeah, so, I love that he did that because it kind of just proved, man, you can do this really and cool. It can look good in your church.
Yeah, that's great.
And really promote missions on a higher level. Yeah. So anyways, there's more options in here. I think we have just a huge amount. I was going to say before, between I think the design pack and the tiles pack, there are right at 124 designed elements.
Wow. Just in those 2 packs, 124.
Yeah. So multiply that by $100 if you're going to get that done privately. Yeah. Or hire someone to do that. Sure. That is a huge value on what you're getting there, especially when all you do is have to come in back behind this and fill in the blanks.
Yeah. And the other thing I love about this, we talk about 938 being 938 Sunday, and that is obviously the catalyst for what we're doing, 938 Sunday. But if I was a pastor of a church and I wanted to work 938 into a missions conference, or I wanted to walk this into an Awana program or a student ministry, or whatever, a monthly missions emphasis and service, you have tons of resources that you could use to make that happen, and it's all free for you to use.
Yeah, the church up in St. Charles, Grace. I think it's Baptist Church.
Yeah, Grace Baptist Church in
Kevin
St.
Cole's
Charles.
church. He always talks to me about doing year-long emphasis on stuff. Sure. So he's used our design packs, our old design packs in the past or missions conference design packs to do a year-long thing. Yeah. Honestly, this could be emphasized throughout the year. We're giving you enough to emphasize this throughout the year, like you said.
Yeah, I love that.
It's just a huge opportunity to kind of get plugged in with some of this stuff. We also include go back to that screen. I forgot to mention this, the 7-day prayer guide that's in a more printable or social media.
That looks incredible.
So they have those there. Another thing with this 7-day prayer guide on the printed versions that you can do a full page here, 8.5 by 11, or do half page versions of it. I'm just going to zoom into one of these here. Let me come up here. They have the QR codes that are on the printed materials so they can scan with their phone or a phone app, their camera app, and it will take them directly to our regions videos that we just did.
Wow. So that's tied into this prayer guide that people can get on 938 Sunday.
If you're praying for Africa, there you have access to a video that kind of shares a little bit more about what's going on in that region. So it's really exciting. This is just, it all ties together with what we're doing and some of the things that's happening within.
And that's one of my favorite things about Project 938 has been the ability to bring everything that we do together into one push and to tie it all together. I mean, you guys have done such a great job on these regional videos, and to tie those back to a 7-day prayer guide that people can scan that at home and go watch this video. It's just going to give them more connection. Well, I guess connection is probably the best word for that, to these regions and how to pray for the people in these regions.
Well, we've never charged for those regional videos either, so they're free and they're out there to use right now. But just I don't think a lot of people know about them. So like, use the resources you can and make your missions program as good as you can make it in your church. And you know, if you've got people like the mission office, if you got a group like us coming alongside you to help you do that and take care of like 90% of the work and get you in a place where you can do that.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such an awesome resource. So I am glad. I'm so happy. It's been such a privilege, and it's been so exciting to work on this because it has such potential to impact the world in such a great way. And I think that's kind of the point of the whole Project 938 anyway.
That's the whole point behind all of it.
We want souls to be saved. And if we can get more, if we can pray for more laborers, I think God will bless that ask. And more people will be called to the field. And when more people are called to the field, we can fulfill the Great Commission in a greater way. Yeah. And I think that's what we want.
Yeah, and ultimately that's the goal.
We just want to be obedient, right?
How can we get more missionaries out there? But it's not just about more missionaries. That's one aspect. Yeah. But I mean, I think about church planners. We need more church planners here in the States.
Yeah.
We need more small group leaders and Sunday school teachers in our churches. We need more people involved in ministry involvement just on a regular basis. And so this push is not just about missions. It's about more laborers in general.
It's big picture, right?
Yeah, it's big picture, because when we have more church planners out here starting more churches, that's more churches sending and supporting missionaries that are going to different parts of the world to reach people with the gospel. And that's the whole point of the Great Commission, and that's what we are working towards as a group and as a BBFI fellowship.
And I think one thing that I was a student ministries pastor for almost 9 years, and one thing that we don't think about is, as pastors sometimes, is that how are these people under me in my influence right now? How are they going to impact the world now? And they don't all go they don't pray. We don't pray a prayer and all of a sudden missionaries pop out of the ground. Yeah. The cool thing is when people start praying for missionaries, they start getting involved in other ways. So as a pastor, you are totally gaining in every way possible by having your people pray for missionaries. You're getting generational servants out of this. These are people who are going to start serving in your church before they become missionaries, before they become pastors or church workers or however, church planners. There's so much opportunity in this that we kind of just need to open up our eyes to and say, this is big. This is a big deal.
This is big, and not only is it big, but it's something that I can get involved with.
Yeah.
In a very real way.
Oh, it's so easy to jump on.
Easy, simple process. And so, look, if you're just joining us, first off, welcome to the 938 podcast. Here with Mike Escabel, our media manager here at the Mission Office. And if you're just jumping on, I want to encourage you to go back and watch this entire episode as Mike has walked through just some incredible resources that are available to our churches out there through this Project 938 process. And so if you haven't registered, if you're a pastor and you haven't registered, or maybe you're watching and you're not sure if your church is registered, call your pastor and ask him, hey, have we registered for Project 938? But go to project938.world, click on register, enter your information. It's not even much information.
No, it's
just a little bit of information, hit submit, and then you're going to get an email back that has a link to an entire resource pack that came out as an introduction packet back in May. That's going to give you all kinds of resources that'll help you really understand and know what Project 938 is, and help you be able to cast vision to your staff and leadership. And then next month, here in July, July's
right here tomorrow. Yeah,
depending
on when this airs, July's like right
it's
here.
now.
Wow,
yeah. So, but you're going to get access to that July packet as well. That includes all the resources that we talked about today, as well as a lot of other resources. And these are just a few of the many resources that you're going to have access to. And that doesn't even count the September packet.
No.
But this July packet is geared so you have everything you need to promote Project 938 within your church. And then the September packet is all geared towards resources for the day of 938 Sunday, which is Sunday, October 3rd. So want to encourage you again, go register, get signed up. And if you need help with that, contact us at the mission office. Let us help you.
Yeah.
We're here to help any way that we can. If you've got questions about anything that you see in this video about these resources, contact us, reach out. And we'd love to help you any way that we can. So, Mike, as we wrap things up today, anything else that you'd like to add?
Just want to say there are videos that we didn't even talk about all the videos that are on in that registration pack.
That's right.
That first one. And there are more that are coming out.
Yeah.
So we have missionaries, pastors, college presidents. We have parents of missionaries.
Yeah.
Like so many videos that you can use, and those resources too outside of the design pack and tile
these are
pack.
just two of
just
many resources.
Well, I mean, look at what you're getting for nothing, and it's just such a huge opportunity that you need to take advantage of.
I love that. And that doesn't even mention the Marjorie Browning documentary.
The Marjorie Browning documentary is coming out in the September pack.
That is huge.
And that's been something we've been working on for a long time. Justin has put a lot of hours into that, and so have I, and it's just been a big project, but it's about a 30-minute documentary.
Yeah.
So it's coming. We have a trailer out there for it already, and go check that out.
Yeah, I love that. And the other thing is, if you haven't registered yet, just check down the comments below, and we'll have a link in those comments right there.
Absolutely.
You just click that link, and that'll take you right over to where you can get registered and get everything, get access to everything. So,
awesome.
Mike, hey, thanks for being here today. Thanks for walking us through all the resources and everything that we had a chance to look at today. Again, if you have any questions, let us know. Thanks for joining us today, and be back here next week at the 938 podcast. And got another great episode for you coming next week. So we'll see you later.